Welcome back to Extracted. Like a Jack in the Box, a Jill in the Box. It was scary.
I didn't know you were rolling
We
tape.
start with a jump scare, and it only gets more terrifying from there.
You gotta tell me when it. Like,
That's
give
right.
me a 3-second countdown.
Oh, are we going to edit this out?
No.
Because you're already down.
I know.
Okay.
I have 1 point to your 5.
I'll explain that. But first, let me just say this is episode 3 of season 5, and we're focusing on Epstein because that's what we should all be doing. And I'll explain that more too. But this is Extracted. This is the Bang Bang Bunker because it's where the dogs hide during fireworks or thunderstorms. And this is where we have recorded many episodes. And there have been stories about each other. There's us trying to hook up Shannon. There's me talking about me hooking up back in the day. It's a lot of good information, I think.
Funny stories.
Funny stories. Which maybe that's what you need right now. Maybe you need some levity. So that's included in this all-inclusive package here at extracted.online. But today, as we're going to do all season, is we're going to focus on Epstein. Because this is an important moment for us.
Absolutely.
The rich guys have been getting away with too much for too long. And we have this opening here where, as Republican Representative Massey says, we should all be talking.
Absolutely.
And
There's enough information here to last the rest of our lives to talk about.
yeah, and we should. And so, did I think I hinted at the points, but I didn't get there.
Please do.
I'm up 5 to her 1. I've only requested 1 edit, which is why she got a point, and then she nuked an entire episode, which is why I have 5 points. So if there needs to be any edits on this, then depending on who requests it, well, the other person gets a point. That's just how we gamify this thing. This is how we have a moment of lightness to what we must discuss.
It is very dark.
But you know the silver lining. I'm a persistent silver lining miner.
You are.
And is that this can bring us together in a moment, in a world where billionaires rule. This is a time to hit them in the knees. Mm-hmm. Because let's just look at elections. In 2008, billionaires spent $16 million on elections. Sounds like a lot, right?
Not really.
Post Citizens United, in the 2024 election, they
Right.
spent $2.6 billion. They are running the show. And when it comes to the Epstein files, we have not only American billionaires, but European billionaires and Israeli billionaires and Russian billionaires, who are all involved in this nest of creeps.
Don't forget the Saudi billionaires.
And the Saudi billionaires, you're all going to get included.
We're all about DEI here.
And there's more of us than them. All right, if you need to go watch Bug's Life to understand what that means, then go do it. It's Pixar before it sucked. So this is our moment. This is our moment to shine. And even though she and I would rather be giggling and sharing stories.
Yeah, and talking about...
Right. And not irking our friends. Boom.
But we're both so consumed and bothered by the non-response to this information.
Mm-hmm.
Other countries' leaders are stepping down just for being mentioned in the files. There's no sexual impropriety, but just being involved. And yet the U.S. is like, squirrel.
I know. The Queen's money has been spent to absolve Lord Mountbatten or whatever, formerly known as Prince Andrew. The Queen's money. And we shall not pause. And they're trying hard. I mean, they've got all the social media, the AI that is pushing hard to change this conversation. Mm-hmm. I mean, I saw, I think it was Sam Altman of ChatGPT is tight with Trump now. And of course, Zuckerberg is tight. And I will be on Facebook and see just countless trolls trying to support their narrative. But for the first time ever in the history of that terrible, plague-ridden spam magnet of a social platform, I'm seeing people, real people, speak out, taking a chance on it and saying no.
Yeah, this is not acceptable.
I'm seeing the Cato Institute, which is often hidden in that nice little libertarian umbrella, coming out and protecting immigrants and speaking out about Epstein. This is our shot, okay? And this is a little inspirational thing. Do you mind if I can be done in just a second?
Wax poetic, my friend.
I know, but you come with actual information.
No.
I'm full of nipples and excitement.
I'm clutching my pearls, and please go on.
This is weird. I mean, this is a weird reference for me because I didn't really know of this guy.
Just throw it down.
James Vanderbeek.
The man that just passed.
Yeah. The hottie from Dawson's Creek.
I never thought he was that hot. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't
Rest
know.
in
He did obtain some television prowess because of potential or purported hotness.
Okay.
He died, And
I'm gonna
as
get
on
me.
his way to his death with cancer, he's selling off his estate to pay for medical bills. We live in a world where people can't even afford to freaking save their lives.
Yeah.
And it's because of the Epstein class.
Yeah.
This is our chance, okay? I don't know who your inspiration might be. Maybe it's not James Van Der Beek, but it's someone. We've all been through it. Even if we're just trying to find a place to rent, or we're at the grocery store wondering when pickles got so expensive, this is our chance. We're getting hosed, and the Epstein files is the crack in the Epstein class
Absolutely.
for us to finally do something.
I think that the administration is hoping that people will just contain themselves with what's been released, because they're now saying everything's been released, although there's what you said, 40 terabytes of information that's not been released. Because there's so much more to this than just sex trafficking. There's arms trafficking. There's, murder for hire. There's all sorts of bad things. And so I think that the administration's hoping, people just look at it as some party nights and that they move on. But that's upsetting.
Well, they keep trying to say you know what they do. They're trying to comfort everyone that it's okay. They keep coming out with different things. And if I were MAGA, if I were a supporter of Trump, at this point, by now, you should be insulted, because the person that has the least amount of respect for you isn't your family, doesn't talk to you anymore. It's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's Fox News, which is entertainment, but clowns you all the time with what is not news. And it's guys like Trump who keep distracting them with not even new lies, old lies. Illegal people are voting. Old lies like this. When are you going to stop getting taken? Because the person that is taking you isn't an immigrant, and it isn't the liberal down the street or the blue-haired woman that's protesting,
Or a trans person.
It is. Trump has more sexual assault victims who have come out. At least 3 times more than there are trans athletes in the
world.
NCAA.
It
Yeah,
feels like.
so come on, let's focus. How have we done so far?
You've done amazing.
Well, no, anyway, I came out of the gate. It's been a long time because you were out of town.
I was out of town all week.
Yeah.
We haven't talked, and so much has come out this week. But going back to your point about Representative Massey and Representative Ro Khanna, 2 Republican men who did not put up with this cover up, and they dug in, and despite being threatened and their families being threatened and who knows what horrible things have been said to them, they persisted. And I think, to your point, we owe them a big thanks, because they stood up for the victims when nobody else would help them. And again, what I've said in another podcast about what chills me to the bone more than, Epstein or any of his class, is a woman like Pam Bondi, who looked the other way, accepted bribes, and wore her gold cross, had children, and sat there in that courtroom last week and was screaming about the Dow being up 50,000, but yet would not turn around as a woman and apologize to throngs of victims behind her. Like, that is the kind of woman that you label, I'll see you next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what kind of weird Stockholm syndrome does this
Right.
woman have? And then, of course, she was an attorney in Florida all
AG.
those years. The
AG.
AG, yeah. So, and there's a moment she had some work to do, because she was on a work travel, and she started looking into Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
That guy's got his hands in everything. But it's funny, the Trump administration thought they had a win they could share with their supporters, and that was that Donald Trump had turned in Epstein in 2006. And it quickly backfired on him, because people were like, so he knew, then he knew what he was doing.
Right.
And B, if he did turn him in, why didn't he pursue it? Because Epstein got the light treatment and got back out of his state penitentiary and just kept doing what he was doing. And if Trump knew, then it's even worse.
Well, and to
than
even
before.
prove his lie even further, in the last couple of years when they brought up Virginia Gouffet's name, Trump says that Epstein stole her from him, in 2011, 2012? So that flies in the face of that lie again.
Yeah, and plus, she's not property to be stolen.
No.
And these guys are so removed from reality that he thinks he's defending himself by objectifying a girl
Yeah.
as something that could be stolen.
Yeah. I mean, like, newsflash, women are not property, you know? Neither are other people's kids I mean, it's just like it's this weird control thing, and men feel more manly when they do things. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, misogyny is so big in this.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's kind of like, I think of a hand, and you've got misogyny and you have pedophilia, and a lot of times there's Satanism involved, or at least a cult type of, you know, affiliation.
The world's most terrifying hand puppet.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, and there are these themes and patterns, and, you know, the same players are showing up decades over time, lying and covering for themselves. And like everything that's come out on Bill Gates has been his post tenure after Microsoft, and same with Clinton. It's like once he was out of the White House, but they never said why Epstein went to see Clinton 17 times in the White House.
There's so much news, it's hard to wrap your arms around
Yeah.
it. And one thing I've been using is this incredible writer, Red Bird, once told me about writing.
Our professor in college.
Yes.
God
And
rest his
he
soul.
and I had a fun rivalry. And he told me, he's like, don't overthink it. Like, if you're looking at a school, don't write about the whole school. Find a brick. And I think if you're people that talking about this, find that one brick.
Yeah.
Like, I jotted some notes down here, some little circles to run my mind. Any one of these circles is something you could run on. Bannon's 1,974 emails.
Yeah.
Julie K. Brown, the Miami Herald's
Yep.
intrepid reporter, who's saying he didn't kill himself. There's so many. Ty Cobb, Trump's lawyer, just came out and said, "Oh God, people,
Yeah.
this is dark."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And please remember, I'd like to come back to the death thing.
Hold on, let me make a note.
yes.
This is what we do around here.
But to your point, I think for many years to come, we're going to see PhD level dissertations, even master's theses, you know, whatever, on this multi-decade cover-up that goes back to the beginnings of the CIA, you know, and before Israel was a state. And so it's interesting when you have this confluence of the United States, the UK, the CIA, and Mossad, and Israel. And they all intersect, and they all branch out into these insidious people and are connected. And it's just, I mean, I literally have stuff to read for the rest of my life about this. And believe me, I want to know all of it.
What a terrible life sentence.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I say to friends of mine, like, let me tell you I'm single without telling you I'm single. I spent my weekend when they first dumped the files a couple weeks ago. But, you know, I mean, as they say, if, like, you're a private investigator or a police officer investigating a crime, like, you look for clues, you look for evidence, and when things are all pointing in a direction to a person, you can't look the other way and ignore that just because you don't want to accept that the guy you voted for is a major player in all of this.
And it just, you know, we're in a society where so many women have dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that we're not dealing with it like grown-ups.
No.
We all have, many of us have kids, or we've all been kids, or we all have someone that maybe has been through this. And we're not standing up like real men, you know?
Feels like the Me Too moment had like a good runway.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish that world could have collided with the Epstein world, because I think some of those women could have helped the victims. But I mean, hell, Weinstein is in the Epstein files. So, you know, again.
Well, the Me Too moment it's like any moment where there seems to be progress. Obama getting elected, the Me Too moment. And that's when that money starts spending and pushing back. And so when we take a half step forward, we get pushed 3 back.
Yep.
Because they don't want to be accountable. I mean, you just look in Colorado, we have this crazy drought. There is no winter. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
We're headed to disasters
And
heretofore
fires.
unseen. And that, strangely enough, ties in with the Epstein class, because they don't want to be held accountable, which is why they put a guy like Trump in office, no matter how they despise him, no matter how they don't want to be associated with them. But the world's wealthiest, the Epstein class, needs distractions because otherwise that might cut into their incredibly amplified profits in helping the world do something about climate change. Or healthcare, or infrastructure, or malaria, and they don't want to be held accountable, and they're trying to recede away from public responsibility while reaping the profits.
And I think that there's a lot in this, and you could, to your point, you can come at this story in so many different angles, certain people that have been involved, but it makes you really wonder about elections in our lifetimes, about the financial criminality of other countries in our country, and people that went missing or committed suicide or what have you, and what's Occam's razor? When something really looks like that's what it is, like that's what it is.
Don't overthink it, Jack. Yeah. I how do you feel about your Bannon assignment?
Good.
Okay, so that's coming up. I jotted down some notes, some talking points, just simple talking points. If somebody yells at you about the Clintons, the Clintons are in, fine. I don't care.
I would
fine.
Agree. Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit
investigate
tied to the Clintons.
But yeah, sure, there's a lot of weird shit, and then also remind them that the Clintons want to be deposed live on TV.
Yeah.
The Republicans, and I'm not defending the Clintons here at all. But the Republicans want to do the same kangaroo court they did with Hillary about Benghazi, which they gave no dams about, clearly, as they
impeached the man over a BJ.
Yeah,
which I'm not excusing.
BJ, yeah.
I'm not excusing, but I'm just saying, if you did that to Clinton and you're looking the other way on this,
well, I mean, as 3 women brought down Clinton.
Yep.
We have
dozens,
10 times that,
right,
more,
hundreds probably.
So that's something there. And then another thing is, we already have a senator in John Husted who was voting against releasing these files. Comes to find out he's been receiving donations, as most all these guys have, from Wexner.
Yeah.
From Wexner.
How funny.
Yeah.
And again, Leslie Wexner, who
we haven't even mentioned in this episode.
Many think is Epstein's lover. And that's how Epstein reaped a lot of his wealth, and the brownstone in New York. And he also has been documented to be involved with organized crime. Because, you have to realize there's really 2 mafias, right? You've got the Sicilian and the Jewish mafia. And depending on where they're located in the country, Les Wexner is in Ohio, and everything he did came out of there. And he and Epstein met in the 70s. And so even recently, Les Wexner has admitted that Epstein committed a whole bunch of financial crimes without him knowing with his money, but he's not going to talk about it.
Oh, Les. He's supposed to go on trial.
He probably won't.
And that's the
thing. If you have enough money,
you
can donate or pay, or settle out of court and, walk away. No repercussions.
If I ran a gynecology office.
Yes.
And I was receiving quarterly payments from Jeffrey Epstein, and I would probably be under scrutiny by now. I may have committed suicide by now.
Right.
And that's something that actually happened.
There was a man at the
Ohio State University.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Who would take care of the girls that would get knocked up or got STDs, or if they gave birth. And then where did those babies go? Now, another thing that people don't want to talk about that's even bigger, and we probably should save it for another episode, is there's an author named David Icke who writes about a global cult of Satanists.
ICKE.
Yeah. Looks like icky, but it's Icke. And they're Satanists that are pedophiles. And what using children does as a payoff for the deity that they are sacrificing and abusing, right? And so when you start to look at that, it's fascinating. And if you start to think about, wow, this is really a global cabal, we've used that word before, of power and money and corruption, and there's so much more that has not been released because it is that much worse than what is already pretty nightmarish and terrifying on its face. So imagine, like, what could be worse than what we're already seeing?
And just one final note, a talking point note here, that should always be recalled, is Trump won't sue people who talk about him being a pedophile.
No, because they can cross-examine him.
He sued 60 Minutes over a promo he thought was edited poorly and made Harris look better than he thought it should.
And they acquiesced and paid.
Yeah, and he is suing our own government for $10 billion for a leak.
IRS.
For IRS, which is mentioned in the Epstein files. Palantir's Peter Thiel saying he cannot release his tax returns.
And what is he, his H&R Block guy?
God, I know. And I did think this is interesting because, yeah, like this documentary, it came out in, you can't really see anything, but it's the most English title ever, was Donald Trump a Sex Pest? Mm-hmm. But it came out in 2018, and it talks about, I won't play it, but it talks about, it has interviewing women and talking about Trump was a creep show around girls. And you get smacked if you say young woman. Girls. And they interviewed somebody who's like, oh yeah, he was bragging about it. Mm-hmm. And he won't sue because that means discovery. So just remind people of that. All this talk. You know what? In an American country right now where we feel like maybe the Constitution is being violated, and you worry about your freedoms, you still have the freedom of speech. Talk about Donald Trump being a pedophile, and we should all the freaking time.
But Jared, the Dow's up 50,000.
Oh God, right, Pam, right. And it's funny, feeling threatened and maybe wanting to look a little manlier. Trump did threaten the former host of Comedy Central's Daily Show.
Yes.
Talk to me. What's his
name?
Jon
Stewart.
No, other guy.
Anyway,
you're that guy.
Yeah.
And you knew it was talk.
Trevor.
Yes. Lawrence. No, that's a quarterback.
Trevor.
Talk to us, people.
Lawrence. Yeah.
No, that's a quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, but him.
Yeah.
He
Noah.
Trevor Noah. Thank you.
Oh my God. And so there's just so much here. And now
Trump wants to sue Trevor Noah for his comments at the Grammys.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to pause here and see if I can make this impossible shot. Okay. This is what will happen between segments. This is difficult. You see there's net there.
And you have to almost curve it.
I have to kind of curve it around.
There's physics.
There's physics involved. Oh!
Close.
Okay. Do you want to try?
No, because I'll foul.
Okay, we'll be back with another attempt. But now, Shannon, who was flitting around in her professional life.
Yes.
And abandoned us in this conversation.
Well, we would talk at night.
Was given an assignment. I said, damn it, Shannon. I said, find something. No, I said, let's talk about Bannon.
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah.
It wasn't my idea.
Because remember, Trump and Bannon had a bit of a breakup in 2017.
Yeah.
And he was banished from the White House. Mm-hmm. Well, truth be told, he starts buddying up with Epstein, and they start taking selfies and traveling together and doing things together. And in these emails, and there's nothing that he's been accused of from a criminal standpoint, but there's a lot of chatter about Russia, about Russian people that they know, pro-Kremlin operatives that they know, the whole Trump-Putin perception in the public. Mm-hmm. But there was one message where Epstein said, no wonder Trump can't sleep at night knowing that you and I are friends, or something like, or now you know why.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But it was like as if Bannon had been brought in on some information. But what's even more interesting to me is all of this is about intelligence, which is information. Mm-hmm. And so even if that means that I have to deliver, not I, but even if you're in an intelligence role and you have to do something really terrible in order to get that information, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. And it seems like a lot of people did their jobs, unfortunately.
It's none of this is, it all has credibility just based on what we know is already happening.
And throughout history, anytime you have ever questioned the victims, turns out they've always been right all along. And then you end up owing them an apology. Yeah. For re-victimizing them every time that they come out and try to retell. And all the people that haven't even come out, because they see the ones that have and go, why would I do that to myself?
Well, and Bannon has this it's weird that he gets the white supremacist tag, and I look at that guy
And
and
the
he's
Slav
very
tag.
inferior. It's just weird. All these replacement theory dweebs, just their mere existence is kind of an argument to replace them. But so Bannon is banished.
He's banished, and he decides he's going to make a documentary about Epstein to try to help refurbish his notoriety.
Will this
right?
attack Trump and Epstein, or
Well, he had asked Epstein for a lot of information on Trump through the filming, but the last message that they had was in 2019, where Bannon was supposed to go to the island to film with the crew, and Epstein says it's off because he was being arrested at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey, and they finally had gotten him.
this was the final arrest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me how he tried to like get buddy with Epstein, and then wanting to make a documentary about him and help refurbish his reputation.
Was it supposed to clean him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah.
he was going to be known as a philanthropist now.
Well, I wish philanthropist wasn't getting dragged to the mud like these guys are doing. I mean, because you look at Epstein's love of science, and then you also see he was with Bannon talking about eugenics, and it's like, oh.
There are emails about the designer babies and about cloning. And it's interesting, again, we've said this before, but it's like the FBI raided the brownstone, but nobody ever went to the New Mexico ranch. And that's where the cloning all was. And it took them a month to get to the island. But yet there was vats of sulfuric acid that had been ordered.
Good call, girl, because Bannon's had a bathroom that was ruined by sulfuric acid. Yeah, that was ordered by Epstein.
Yeah. And so why would you have sulfuric acid in your bathroom unless you were trying to get rid of something?
I want to use it just to wash my brain.
I know. Yeah, after you read about all this.
So,
I've noticed that I can't eat when I read about this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll read while I eat. No.
Yeah, I'm motivated.
Like
no, it's great. And that's the thing with Bannon is he again and again and again just he tries to be this holier and higher than thou figure, but he's trash. This is the guy who, when Trump was facing opposition about the wall that he wasn't building, but that got him elected, they start a fund, and as everyone does in the Republican Party, they fleece a bunch of Trump supporters who donate to build a wall. Bannon takes that money and gets convicted, and then he goes to prison, and then he's pardoned by Trump. So it's just garbage. It is the Pacific garbage patch running this country and also doing the dance, keeping us away from the truth.
It's the swamp that Trump has always talked about.
Yeah.
It really is. And just this, going back to when Robert Maxwell was alive and his affiliations with the U.S. and the U.K. and Israel and Mossad and the CIA and being a triple agent, and just the amount of intelligence and information, and the Pegasus software scandal, which is what the Octopus Murders Netflix documentary that I love so much is all about. And this has tentacles into Iran-Contra, into trafficking crack cocaine into South Central Los Angeles in the 80s, and getting a specific group of people addicted.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, these are things that we didn't think were real for a while, and they are. So it's, don't be, they're going to try to push and make, that wouldn't be, Donald Trump, the president, would have been. Don't let them push you off your mound.
He's
Don't.
the useful idiot for this shadowy government, deep state, whatever you want to call it. Whoever's pulling those strings is in this, like I said, it's like an octopus. It's got all these tentacles into things. But it's interesting to me as well where throughout history where, whether it was after the Second World War, but anytime there's been a huge shift in culture and a big either regime change or something, it comes off of a traumatic event like 9/11. And now we have Department of Homeland Security and TSA and ICE. And it's like, was that really what it was? Because was the right country blamed for 9/11?
No.
I mean, I'm just, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying not to say things that sound biased because I want people to do their own critical thinking and homework on it. But there's a lot of events in our lifetime and our parents' lifetime where the CIA is involved, and it's like when the Shah was taken out in the 70s in Iran, you know, and that was right before Reagan was elected and Carter had been in office, and the hostages, and like, I mean, anyway, I digress.
No, it's okay. Let's take that break. Things that seemed crazy and impossible in the 80s turned out to be quite factual in that the Reagan camp was in touch with Iran, and they held on to those hostages until Reagan got elected.
Yep.
And you look at Iran-Contra. I mean, Oliver North. Sorry, Oliver Stone. He liked one of my tweets once. Ooh. Oliver North is the focus on the Iran-Contra affair. This guy should be destroyed, but he's back and offering Fox News commentary about, guess what, Iran and how they shouldn't be armed. The guy involved in the Iran-Contra affair. So things that seem hyperbolic are very real. I think we're getting invaded. Oh, all right. Well, youngins, yeah. Oh,
you know, the other thing that I think no one has little voices.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing that no one's talking about, there are these like 12 families that go back with this wealth. The Rothschilds, you know, the Mellons, Rockefellers. You know, there is this wealthy elite that is also part of the Epstein class that helps fund a lot of these initiatives. And the buddiness behind all of that, and the, you know, traveling around and staying with you and hanging out. And like, I bet if you and I spent time together traveling, and I would be knowing what you were eating and doing at nighttime and who you were with, just because I would be within proximity, you know? So that's why I don't understand like this lying and covering up for one another. And, you know, it's just gross because so many people are involved.
Yeah, I saw this video. It was a conference, and I think it was kind of like a Israeli Zionistic conference. And this guy's interviewing people on stage about tactics they could use to promote expansion. And he asks the wife of a billionaire donor. He's a Vegas guy. Oh gosh, dang it! He's a big Trump fan. Anyway, I know his name up until right freaking now.
The older guy,
just because guy. My daughter has friends over, and they all ran downstairs, and it erased my brain.
I know who you're talking about.
The casino guy.
Yeah.
Okay, here
Steve
we are.
Wynn?
No,
the other guy, the bigger
guy.
Yeah.
He's like 107. So they turn to his wife.
Yes.
And say, what are some other tactics that and there's this whole crowd just wrapped by this conversation of these very successful people. And they ask her, what are some other tactics that you've used? And she says, I'd rather not talk about it. And he's like, okay. And she's like, yeah, I just really don't want. For a moment, she has a little inner glimpse that some of these things that might seem insane, and people who brought them up have been labeled as such, are reality.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because in the Epstein files, there's this word "whoops" that's mentioned.
Murder,
that has to do with death. RFK Jr.'s second wife, Mary Kennedy, was a whoops that Epstein, and that was labeled a suicide. The mother-in-law of the Sultan guy, the torture-loving video guy, his mother-in-law had a whoopsie. And, I mean, that's what they're doing.
Adelson.
Oh, yes.
Miriam and Sheldon Adelson.
Sheldon Adelson.
And Miriam is asked, and she's just like, I'd rather not say.
You know why? Because of these other people that it's like they all get that.
The whoopsing is terrible. RFK's wife,
second wife,
Mary Kennedy, sees in his journal that he's had 37 affairs.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
She kills himself, and Epstein says, "Whoops." Yeah, or so they say.
Or did she go fucking ballistic? Pardon my French. Yeah. And threaten to take that public, or something that she found, right? because he has some funny things attached to him too. Again, it's this elite class. I'm above the law. I'm this country club going white boy who's had it's this thing of like entitlement, and I have enough money that I can buy you and pay you off, and you can't get me on anything. And that's what Trump's all about.
The Epstein class, and we need to refer to it as such, because if there's any struggle that we find in our lives, there's a good chance you can tie it back to the wealthiest people profiting off of us
and our taxes.
Yeah, and they're not paying taxes.
No,
and our immigrant pays more taxes than Tesla.
But the other thing that they're not talking about is in the Epstein files, all this talk about tech that hasn't come out publicly yet, that has to do with surveillance, and like just really invasive things where what we think we have is our freedoms and our privacy. Some of this tech, and I don't know how far along it is, Palantir would know, but...
And again, that's another point. People, at some point, somebody would say, yeah, right, Shannon.
No, they've monetized your data.
Right, and then you have Palantir here and Doge. And Doge, all they want to do is get all the data, and they want to have it in one place so they're able to monitor us. And I would have told somebody a year ago, you're crazy, you little loony bin.
2 months ago, the headline was Doge, in fact, took our Social Security data.
Doge took Social Security data.
The one number that's assigned to...
I'm just throwing this out of anger. Okay. If I happen to make it, then... Oh, God, that was an anger shot.
Oh, that was good.
So anyway, the point is, it's going to sound unbelievable, but we're living it, okay? And I'm not here to exaggerate. I'm not here to get all yellow journalistic on you and reel you in with, fascinating headlines that couldn't be real. This is life right now.
And you can't get paralyzed with the analysis paralysis. You have to keep moving and pushing and asking for the truth, because they want you to be overwhelmed and just be in a coma with all this information.
I just have 3 to-dos for everybody. 1, make sure everybody knows that you're not going to kill yourself. 2, start using the phrase Epstein class all the time. It is the Epstein class, or Trump Epstein files, or just Trump files featuring Epstein. And 3, keep pushing, keep asking. This is our shot.
Demanding.
And you might be like, I'm really tired after a long day of,
Too bad.
typesetting. You know what? There's a bunch of people that died on a freaking beach in Normandy.
Yep.
And you're not shitting yourself in a boat rolling up on a bunch of incoming fire, and neither are you or me.
And our grandparents did not go through World Wars I and II, to have fascism and Nazism come back.
And people are suffering consequences around the world. And
we aren't.
And
no one here is accountable.
Yeah, so don't ever try to make your kid accountable. Don't ever try to make your school accountable, your county accountable. If you can't stand up and be accountable and make people be accountable for this.
Yeah.
We're in a country right now where masked agents are chasing 5-year-olds who are citizens. And those kids are facing more repercussions than the dudes who might rape them. So let's just toughen up a little bit. Stay up late, do some reading, watch and share this, because we're not sitting here fibbing.
Get comfortable in the uncomfortable. That's really what it is.
Oh, damn it. This is the make. This is the make. Oh,
so
God
close.
Dang it. Whew. Well, you want to shoot that one?
You do it for me.
Okay.
Okay, this is it.
Here we go. Anytime a woman says, do it for me, I'm like, hell yes, sister.
God, so close.
Damn it. Anyway, we'll be back. This is Extracted. This is episode 3 of season 5, and I don't think anybody's getting any points on this one. You feel pretty solid on it?
I do.
Oh my God! You landed your plane. You got in the taxi. You came here. You mowed us down with facts and insight. So thank you so much.
You did too.
And if there's mic issues on this one, I'm going to scream.